imprisoned. I will not call them inmates. They are prisoners because they are locked in cages. They are prisoners. They are kept prisoner on this island. 14,000 people. You should know 85% of them have not had a trial.
That's right.
They are locked up because they could not make bail. They are locked up because they are poor. They are locked up because the court and justice system is by design so clogged and backed up that they say we can't get to your trial. We can't get to your trial. We need a delay. We need a delay. And so people are held for weeks, for months, for years without a trial. All of this to put coercion on them to cop a plea. So then they come out with a record.
Yep.
They come out with a record, and then when they're harassed or brutalized or gunned down, like has happened to so many of these parents' children, they can pull that record out and say, oh, see, they were a criminal.
That's right.
Yeah.
In this country, calling black and brown people criminals is the same thing as calling them the N-word in the past. It's the same way that people are dehumanized.
Yeah, that's right.
That when they are tortured, when they are brutalized, the rest of society is told, don't mind, they're not really people. Those people, they're animals. They're criminals. 95% of the people held on Rikers Island, 95% are black and Latino. You think about New York City, it's the most diverse place in the world almost. But you go to this island, and it's all black faces. It's all Latino faces. This is a genocide. And I just want to tell one story. People probably heard of him, but it's important to remember him. Khalif Browder. He was a 16-year-old boy. He was out with friends, walking down Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, hanging out one night. He was snatched up. We got his face right here. He was snatched up by police. He was accused of stealing a backpack. The police did not produce a shred of evidence. They did not produce evidence that day. They did not produce evidence that week. They did not produce evidence for 3 years.
Wow.
They took Khalif, they locked him in Rikers Island. He had something like $3,000 bail. His family could not pay it. He's 16 years old. They put him in Rikers. They held him 2 years in solitary confinement. That is by every standard in the world, that is torture. And he is a child. His friends are going out, they're flirting, they're falling in love, they're getting in trouble, they're doing what young people do. He is locked in a fucking cage. 2 years. There's video camera of him being beaten by guards. There's video of him being beaten by inmates while guards look on. He was not fed, he lost weight, he was starving. What happened to Khalif Browder is common on Rikers Island. He spent 3 years, he refused to cop a plea, and he finally got out because they couldn't produce any evidence. 3 years of his life had been stolen. But it was worse than that because he was tortured, he was traumatized. June 6th this year, Khalif Browder took his life. This is what's being done to our children, our sisters, our brothers, our loved ones. And everybody on Rikers, they are human beings.
That's right.
They are human beings. Most of them have never been convicted of anything. And even if you have been convicted, even if you've done something wrong, nothing that you have done justifies being tortured.
That's right. That's right.
Nothing that anybody has done justifies being brutalized, hog-tied and beaten. In 11 months, 129 people were beaten so badly on Rikers Island they were sent to the hospital. And there's a lot of retaliation if you go to the hospital or you report. So that means a lot of people never even went to the hospital who needed care. 80% of them said they were hog-tied or handcuffed by guards before they were beaten by those guards. 80%. 77% of those people who were hospitalized were mentally ill, diagnosed. 5 of them in an 11-month period were beaten to the point of hospitalization by guards after suicide attempts. So you're locked in a cage and you're deprived of your humanity and you are tormented, and when you come to the edge and you try to take your life, you're responded to by the turtles, by the brutality, by the batons. This is a torture dungeon. We call it a concentration camp. We say it's Abu Ghraib on the Hudson. None of that is an exaggeration.
Oh, right.
So the only other other thing I want to say, other people will speak more about Rikers. I just want to say from my own heart why I'm here and why I know others are here. And why I'm willing to put my body on the line. To be part of saying we have to shut this down, this must stop. And I know there's people that are going to come up right after me, people who are scared, people who are nervous, people who've never done anything like that before. And I'll say, our bodies are not more precious than the bodies of our sisters and brothers on that island. Our lives do not matter more than their lives. Our futures, our aspirations, our hopes, and the hopes our families have invested in us do not matter more than theirs. And if we preserve our safety, if we preserve our comfort, if we preserve our security at the cost of turning our backs on a crime against humanity, then we have forfeited our humanity.
Rikers, Rikers, crimes against humanity! 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 Shut it down! Shut it down!
This is the New York City Police Department. You are unlawfully obstructing vehicular traffic. I am ordering you to leave this roadway now. If you do so voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. If you refuse to leave the roadway, you will be placed under arrest and charged with disorderly conduct.
When you take that uniform off, your black ass is just like me. When you walk in that street at 2 in the morning with that uniform, you ain't shit. And you up there standing there like you helping the system. You're a part of the problem.
We are Colleen Browder! 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 Rikers, Rikers, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Rikers, Rikers, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! We charge you with genocide! We charge you with genocide! We charge you with genocide!
The only color they really understand is blue. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Now is the day. Now is the time where we mean it. If we can't get it, shut it down. 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 Rikers, Rikers, 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 shut it down. Torture, torture, 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 shut it down. Rise up! 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 I can hear my mother crying. I can't breathe. Now I'm in a struggle and I can't leave. Calling out the violence of the racist police. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. Say what? We ain't gonna stop till people are free. This is
No, I can't do that. I'm not doing it. What part of no?
right now, right?
I'm okay.
This man was shut down by the police.
Come on.
I'm gonna go right to the bus right there, guys.
Right to the bus.
What's your name?
Give him a little space, please. So we can get his name. Give him a little space.
Guys, get back, get back. Get back.
These house niggas out here, like they done made it. They done arrived. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. They like me. I'm their black friend. Fucking coon. I know though, brother, you can't change house niggas, I know. You a house nigga to your heart, you can't change it. I understand.